Welcome to the COMC High School Football Coaches Show, of course, presented by the great folks at Central Ozarks Medical Center, where your health is their mission. Also brought to you by MoDOT, Save Mo Lives, Slumberland Furniture, Slumberland at the Lake, Price and Randall, Injury Attorneys, and Lake Expo Real Estate, lakeexpo.com. We are here at Osage, home of the Indians. Coach Shannon Jolley with us as we get ready for the last game of the regular season this Friday night on Lake TV. Osage and St. Francis Borgia. Ought to be a really good game. We'll talk more about that coming up. Coach, you guys are 6-2. It's been a great season so far after you shut out Southern Boone on the road. Have to be happy with the defense.
Yeah, we thought our defense came out and played really well. We were really pleased with our overall effort from our kids. We had talked about, just the reality of we felt like we were inconsistent at times as far as the intensity. So to come out and to be able to start, and it was unique because we started on offense this week, which we won the coin toss. We always defer most, if not all, of our games. So coming out and created a little bit of, and it might have been a spark for the defense to get warmed up offensively. Because when we talk about both sides, we're really talking about the same kids because most of our kids play both ways.
Yeah, and anytime you shoot a shutout, that's something to hang your hat on there.
Yeah, and I thought we did. Coach Hess and those guys did a good job of putting a good plan together for Southern Boone. We felt like we knew what they were going to do and who they were, and that doesn't always work out like that, but for this time it did.
Yeah, and then, like you say, you won the coin toss. You decide to take the ball on offense. Why do you do that? Do you want to just give the offense a little more boost to doing that, or what was the thought?
Well, to be honest with you, I'm not sure exactly why Maverick goes out and he calls the coin toss. So what I'm saying is we always elect to defer. So they may have won the coin toss and deferred. I don't remember, but I know we started on offense. So it's just part of it. We always as a offensive coordinator, I always like to have the ball at the start of the second half.
Yeah.
No matter how things are going, it really kind of puts you in the driver's seat. So that's the philosophy behind it. But Friday night, I think actually they won it and deferred. And you know what I mean? So
yeah.
They elected to kick. So this is how it works.
Were you pleased with the offense? I think the 21 points all came in the first half.
Yeah, we did have, we're uncharacteristically, I'm not sure if we fumbled all year. Maybe once at the most. So Drake had an early fumble, which was super disappointing, and that was on the first drive to stop the first drive. And then Cole Butler had a questionable fumble early in the third quarter. So I was happy with our offense. I thought in the second half we shot ourselves in the foot, turned it over on an early interception as well. But other than that, I was pleased with our kids overall as a whole. I think we had some execution things, but if you think you're going to go through a football game without some of those, you're kind of fooling yourself.
Yeah, absolutely, especially when you're talking high school kids. It says something about this team. They come off a disappointing loss at Booneville, a game which you thought you could have won, to bounce back, win the next week on the road against a pretty good team.
Well, I think it comes down to the feeling of winning and the things that come with it. Like I said, if you want to go through a week, 7 days of winning football, or the post-game winning things that come along with it, the positivity, or you're clawing and fighting back the next week if you lose. So it's just part of that. And I thought our kids really stepped up. We played really hard Friday night, and I was really proud of them.
And this Friday night, last game of the regular season against a really good St. Francis Borgia team. They were undefeated going into this game last year. Not quite as good this year, but still very strong. We'll talk more about that when we come back on the COMC High School Football Coaches Show.
What's like and follow?
Phones are very distracting. Which is why Missouri now has a law against holding a phone while driving.
Dude, what are you doing? You can't hold your phone while driving.
Yeah, that's illegal.
Buckle up.
At COMC, your health is our mission. Central Ozarks Medical Center offers pediatrics at 2 lake locations and 3 OBGYNs at the Osage Beach Clinic, offering same-day appointments. At COMC, our doors are open to everyone, whether you live at the lake or just here visiting. COMC for the best medical, dental, and behavioral health care. Get more info on how COMC can help you at centralozarks.org. COMC, where your health is our mission. Welcome back to the COMC High School Football Coaches Show. Getting ready for the last game of the regular season this Friday night. You can see it right here on Lake TV. The Osage Indians at home against St. Francis Borgia. Your Indians coach 6-2 going into this one. Borgia has a really strong program year after year. Went through the regular season last year undefeated.
Yeah, this was part of the process a couple years ago about building our schedule into one that's going to get us prepared for district play and for these situations. So playing one of the better teams in Class 3 in Week 9 is really healthy for us. And I think it keeps our kids, on alert and making sure they understand that. And it's senior night, and as far as I'm concerned, my philosophy has always been to try to strengthen your schedule, not place teams of where you think you can win games on homecoming and senior night and those things. So this is a good example. And St. Francis Borgia is a quality program. They've been a state-ranked program for years.
Absolutely. The forecast is for rain Friday night. Do you have to do a special game plan when you got a forecast for weather like that?
Oh, we will. There's different techniques you can use. You can put water on the footballs during practice a little bit. We'll go into some of those things, but it does change how you throw the football, how you squeeze the football and hang on to it. I mean, anybody that's hung on to a wet football understands that, but it's the same for both sides, so it's more about just paying attention to the little details and understanding what changes when the ball is wet.
It's funny how that affects certain players differently. I remember Troy Aikman, when he was playing for the Cowboys, hated playing with a wet football. He said he just could not throw a wet football.
Yeah, and it's different. Turf takes a little bit out of it because when it rains and you're on grass, the offense knows where they're going, the defense has to react. They're a second slower. There's some teams that pass better in the rain, to have an advantage. But we don't look at it like that. I think with anybody, some kids handle the heat better.
Yeah.
Some people handle the cold weather better. Just kind of like us handling the wind today.
Right. Yeah.
You know what I mean? You're either going to take care of it and work through it or not.
I need a blanket out here. It's getting chilly. So what would you like to see from the offense Friday night against a good Borgia defense?
Just a continuation of what we're doing. We started executing a little bit better up front offensively. I mean, we struggled in Booneville, made it a point of emphasis over the week to make sure we had good head placement, hand placement, all those types of things. And I thought we made a big step in Southern Boone as far as up front offensive line-wise. But as far as like our skilled guys, we feel like we're blocking really well on the edge and doing the things that we need to do. And, we've been fortunate to have good running backs. So, just be able to run the ball and work play action off of it.
Okay, and the district standings, which come into great importance right now because this is the last game of the regular season. Then you head into the postseason. After the win over Southern Boone, you've been sitting number 1 in the district standings pretty much all year long, but I think that win over Southern Boone kind of cements the number 1 seed for you going into the postseason.
Yeah, I honestly haven't looked at it, but from what I understand is, Moberly's in our district as well, and we beat them head-to-head, so they can't jump us, since we've been in. So if they were in second place, even if they had higher points, we would get the head-to-head matchup. But there's a lot that goes into it. But we still really, if you want to look at it, we're going to have to play Moberly again, or we're going to have to play Southern Boone again,
yep,
or possibly Hallsville again, or Eldon for that sake. It just doesn't. You throw it all out the window and get ready to go again.
Yeah, there you go. And as it sits right now, I think you would have to play the winner between Eldon and Hallsville probably in the second round of the playoffs. So good luck Friday night, St. Francis Borgia. You can watch that game right here on Lake TV. Pre-game at 6:30, kickoff at 7. Coming up next, we're going to go over to Camdenton, talk with Lakers coach Par Pitts as they get ready for their last regular season game of the year. Don't go anywhere. It's the COMC High School Football Coaches Show.
Lake life starts here. At Lake Expo Real Estate, we know that buying or selling a lakefront property is more than just a transaction. It's the beginning of a new chapter. A chapter that we strive to make easy, from listing to closing. In a competitive market, we showcase your property to the masses online with LakeExpo.com, returning unmatched visibility. And if you're ready to buy that lake house, our team lives and breathes the lake lifestyle, so we know what this chapter is all about. At Lake Expo Real Estate, we believe in community, cherishing those lasting memories, and helping make your lake dream a reality. Check us out online to find lake properties. No logins, no distractions, just pure, unfiltered lake views and options. Lake Expo Real Estate, where we are ready to be a part of your next chapter.
Welcome back to the COMC High School Football Coaches Show. As you can see, we've made our way to Camdenton. We're here on the practice field with Lakers head coach Par Pitts. Kind of hard to believe, Coach, but we're going into the last game of the regular season here this week against Southeast Kansas City. We'll talk more about that coming up here in just a minute. Tough road game last week, as you get every week in your conference, against a pretty good Cap City team. And the offense, once again, scored plenty of points on Friday night. Offense has really been coming around.
Yeah, I think we're improving. It seems like each week we're getting better at what we're doing. We're able to protect the passer a little bit better, and we're also able to find those openings in the defense.
Yeah, and somewhere through the season you decided to go to more of a passing game, a little less of a running game. Do you like the progress on that?
Oh, I do. We're putting up more points, getting more yardage. It's been a good change for us. Our guys have gone to it really well, and they believe in it, so we're excited about continuing that.
Yeah, and that's something they probably grew up doing, because Camdenton has had that shotgun style offense over the last decade or so they probably grew up playing that a lot.
Yeah, they've taken a lot of snaps in the shotgun and being spread out, so it was a pretty easy transition for us to be able to go back to it.
And then when you play that kind of an offense, and we talked a little bit about it last week, that puts more pressure on the defense because there's going to be more series and more opportunities that the defense has to go out there and shut down the other team.
Yeah, it definitely puts pressure on everybody because it's going to lengthen the game by at least a third, probably a third more snaps overall in the game. So it definitely puts pressure on it, but it also puts pressure on the other team to be able to sustain and play in that fashion.
Yeah, so the playoffs are just a couple of weeks away. Before we get into the postseason, though, you've got the season finale, third straight game on the road. You have to travel quite a ways this week. You travel over to Kansas City to play a team from Southeast Kansas City. Does a longer trip like that affect the way you play the game at all?
It's definitely different. Traveling all the way into Kansas City will be something new for us. We haven't played at this stadium ever. But our guys, I think our offense travels, our defense travels. I mean, the way we play should travel. I mean, we're just going to get out of school a little earlier, try to take a break somewhere in there so we can get our legs under us a little bit and then go play.
Yeah, and the weather forecast, you might have to play in some rain in Kansas City. It's definitely going to be cool, so you're going to have to prepare for that too, probably. And all of that might affect the new, emphasis on the passing game too.
Yeah, and we still have the ability to run the football in that spread situation, so it's not a bad thing for us. It's just going to really put emphasis in being able to handle the football. Sometimes in rain, now that you're on turf, it's not as big a deal.
So this Southeast Kansas City team, you put them on the schedule for the first time last year, I think. You guys beat up on them pretty good last year. It was like 70-0 or something like that. So this time you have to go there. They play a lot of the Kansas City area teams, so they're not going to be scared by the Camdenton's history and state championships and all that stuff because they play a lot of good teams every week.
Yeah, it's going to be one of those games where it's going to be settled in between the lines for sure. Last year they came down and competed all four quarters, and they had only like 15 guys on the sideline, and so I was very impressed by the way they continued to play. We've seen them on film this year, and they're going to do the same thing. They're going to compete regardless of the score.
Absolutely. Okay, so when we come back on the COMC High School Football Coaches Show, we're going to talk about how the district seedings are looking, who you might have to play in the first round because the postseason will start next week after this week's last game. So we'll do that when we come back on the COMC High School Football Coaches Show.
Hey everybody, it's Daryl Cunningham with Slumberland Furniture at the Lake. We're starting our mega sale this week, and we've got great deals in the mattress area. Tempur-Pedics, Purple, Stearns & Foster, all on sale. Come get a great night's sleep and check out the wonderful deals at Slumberland Furniture, where we're bringing happy home.
Competing on the field requires hard work.
It also requires effort and making good choices, which carries over off the field.
Like good choices behind the wheel of your car. Did you know that a driver is 20 times more likely to be in a serious accident if texting and driving?
Last year alone, 104 people were killed in Missouri from distracted driving.
So keep leading the statistics. Don't become one.
Buckle up, phones down. This Drive Safe, Boat Safe reminder brought to you by Price & Randall Injury Attorneys.
Welcome back to the COMC High School Football Coaches Show. We're here with head coach Parr Pitts on the practice field here at Camdenton. Your Lakers getting ready for the last game of the regular season. Friday night, you're on the road. You play in Kansas City, southeast Kansas City. After that, we head into the playoffs, the postseason. Some people call that first round game like a play-in game. Is that considered part of the playoffs?
It is. It's part of that district tournament. You know, they seed the district tournament, and everybody is either going to get a bye or they're going to play that first round. And so really, it becomes part of the playoff system, because if you don't win, you're out. And so it's sort of that new season. Everybody goes back to 0-0. The advantage comes if you get to host or you're a higher seed and you get a bye, but it's really, you have to go out there and play the game, and the winner advances.
Yeah, that's one thing that I love about Missouri high school sports. I mean, they don't do this in every state. A lot of states, a lot of teams don't make the playoffs, and here in Missouri, everybody gets in. We'll play that first round games. You know, I mean, if you're a low seed, you're going to have to knock off a really good team, but at least you got a shot.
Yeah.
So that's kind of nice. And in your district, as of this week, we've got Cap City sitting at number 1, the team you played last week, Lebanon number 2, and Glendale at number 3. And right now, if the playoffs were to start this week, you would be in the 4-5 seeded game against Jefferson City.
Yeah, and that's kind of who we think we're going to play. And then if it comes down to that, they would host, even if we were the 4 seed, because they flip you head-to-head if somebody beats you head-to-head. So if Lebanon were ahead of Glendale in the district standings, Glendale would go ahead of them. They work from the top down. And so there could be some switching in that from the standpoint of who gets to host and who's the higher or lower seed.
Okay, I did not know that. First time I'd heard that. So the head-to-head really matters. They take that into account. So you would have to travel to play Jeff City in the first round of the playoffs in 2 weeks. And that's a team you know. You played them in conference, first game of the regular season, and that was a pretty tight game. I mean, they got the better of you that night, but it was close.
It was tight. It was 17-7. We felt like we missed some opportunities, probably a much more dynamic offense we are now. But then again, that's going to give them some more possessions. But they've been a team that has shown a lot of good progress through the season. They run the ball really effective, probably better than they did week 1 for sure. And so we're going to have to be ready to stop the run if we get the opportunity to play them.
Absolutely, and that's another thing about your district is everybody's kind of familiar. I mean, there's several of the conference teams like Cap City and Jeff City, but then a lot of like Lebanon and Glendale, the teams you used to play every year in your old conference. So it's not like you don't really know everybody who's in this district right now.
Yeah, it's a blend of our new conference and our old conference and very familiar teams. So, you know, we're looking forward to the opportunity to play any of them and then go out there and see how far we can get.
Yeah, it'd be kind of fun to see Lebanon again in the playoffs, wouldn't it?
Yeah, we haven't had the opportunity to play them in a few years, and so it would be awesome if we get that chance.
Kind of renew that rivalry. And then, like you said, it's like a brand new start for everybody. No matter what happened in the regular season, you can turn everything around in the postseason. So.
Yeah, that's the plan for sure.
All right, well, good luck Friday night, and we'll see you next week on the Coaches Show. That is your COMC High School Football Coaches Show for this week, presented, of course, by the great folks at Central Ozarks Medical Center, and brought to you by MoDOT, Save Mo Lives, Slumberland Furniture, Slumberland at the Lake, Price & Randall Injury Attorneys, and Lake Expo Real Estate, lakeexpo.com.
Take Lake TV with you wherever you go. Watch Lake TV on demand on YouTube, Roku, and Fire TV.